Hello and welcome back once again to the show. My name's Relevant. This is Do All the Things. And on today's episode, part 2 of me sorting the effects loop in Jet City. In the previous episode, I built the switching module. In this episode, the actual effects loop buffer module, and we're going to be installing it. Stay tuned. So, as mentioned, we had a switching module that I have to make some adjustments to. It's right here. It occurred to me that the functionality of my switching module is going to be something to the effect of, say I didn't want to have a foot switch in there. Well, the default position that I want for the effects loop is on. So if the relay is not energized, the effects loop will be on. When the relay gets energized, the effects loop will be off. So the LED that shows up on your foot switch is going to be lit when your relay is de-energized. Much of the same way in the Jet City. When the relays are de-energized, it's on the overdrive channel. So in actuality, when I pull this jack out, I need this to ground out. Means I gotta take that thing there and I gotta link it over to the ground so that finger will make contact and turn the relay off. The reason why I'm doing that is because the manual switch is gonna disconnect the power that's going to the relay instead of actually triggering this guy. Because, I could put the switch on this contact as initially planned, but the problem is if I did the thing where I plug in a single channel switch, I just want to switch the overdrive channel on and off, the mono jack's going to short this out and energize the relay and disable it. So we might as well use energized disabled as the default, and then my push-pull is just going to cut power to the relay. So for the actual effects loop, again, we're using the brown eye design here, also known as the zero loss design. These guys here, zero loss, well, this is the instruction manual because I was referring to certain things, specifically what to set the voltage supply resistor at. But as far as I know, it is based on this design. And there are two potentiometers in here. The main output, that's going to be on the front here, and it's a push-pull. That's what's going to enable, disable it. And then there's another one right in here. And that's interesting because I do believe that's the send level. It's on the send circuit. And it's interesting how it works. It doesn't throttle signal per se. It seems to work by way of negative feedback, local feedback as it's called. We take some out-of-phase signal here, feed it back to the input, and that out of phase will cancel out the input signal, lowering the volume, lowering the potential at which this amplifies. Now, when I looked at the brown eye, there are clone kits, so you can get little blank PCBs. I noticed it was a trim pot on the board itself, but I wanted to be able to adjust it. So what I rigged up, well, I'm going to have another potentiometer. This guy is a 50K B as prescribed, and it actually, you can't hear it because it's quiet, but it has detents on it. So that should be able to hold it into a fixed position that isn't going to accidentally get knocked around. I wanted a nice place to hide this, but I couldn't find one, so pretty much another hole in the chassis right here. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I flashed you this guy. I went ahead and built it without you. Fact of the matter is, it would just be another real quick time lapse of me struggling. And this is a proof in concept. Remember, this isn't a how-to video. I've never tried this before. This thing could be defective for all I know. So we'll see. Just take a look at the back there. Some of my fine workmanship. It is not completely done. I need to attach wires now. So what I have to do is I have to start mocking up them wires. Ooh, I think I forgot some solder right here. Yes, I did. Nothing connects to that joint. Okay, well, let's just get that sorted real quick. Because the holes we drill, there isn't a nice pad, so I basically put on a huge glop of solder and try to get it to span multiple pads. That way there's a nice anchor to hold that jack into place. These perf boards I'm using are super flimsy, so can't expect them to be too load bearing. But what I want to do now is I want to mock this up. I just want to get this roughly installed so I can see how everything's going to sit, and then get some wires cut to length because I can't, I still have all these on the spool for the switching module. I need to figure out what those are going to be like. As you can see, this is a tight fit. but it is a fit nonetheless. Look at that. Look at that. So my next focus is the power. This is supposed to power off the phase inverter. And you know what else powered off the phase inverter in this circuit? The old effects loop buffer. And this right here, which might actually still have some juice in it, R19, well, guess what? R19 is what supplied power to that tube. So boom, right there is where we're dipping in to get our power. I've used my customary purple wire that I use for high voltage power supply lines in the amp. All right, let's see if we can open that hole up. Yeah, the answer is yes, we can. Now, we should make sure there's no power there. 22 volts. Gonna grab something, a line here, attach her to ground, and bump. Let's find another point here on the power supply. Oh, you know what? I can just go down here, grab one of these choke wires that are hiding. Boom. Circuit is neutralized. Now, should I be soldering that down yet? No, I don't think so. Let's mock up this pot. Yeah, just fits in there. Let's mock up the switching module. All right, so positive signal for the relay is going to be this yellow wire here. That's going to the bottom right there. Going to have a little bit of slack. Cut her right about there. This white wire, that's in the negative, the switch for the relay module. That needs to come all the way up to the potentiometer out front here. That looks about right. And then we're going to need it to return backwards, about this much. So basically on this push-pull pot, if I pull on this, it disables the firing of the relay. I need to do a continuity check to remember how these things are pinned though. If I hook on to center, pulled is, okay, there's nothing there now. Push it, there we go. So what else do we need here? We actually need signal cables for this thing. Here's the original shielded cabling for it on the original breakout board. Now, ground. We can't just use any ground. We need to use a signal ground. Something that's in the right spot on the bus. And I guess that's gonna be whatever that is right there, which would be right here where it says G. So I'm guessing if I grab onto just about any ground bus and touch that G, I should get some reasonable continuity. Yeah, but then the R, where we have to intercept this is over here. You see that C13? That's very important. Now, we're gonna be hooking this up the same way Brown Eye does it. Here's roughly the Brown Eye schematic. There is the effect. And from the relay, it goes right into the phase inverter. So this thing intercepts between the master volume and the phase inverter. So that's exactly where we want to intercept it. We got our master volumes coming out, and then they hit C13. C13 is going to be our ingress point. So the hope is that I can remove this. P-term hope. Need to get those solder pads nice and hot. There we go. We got C13 out. Now, judging by what I'm seeing of the layout here, it appears this side of C13 comes from the relay. So that's going to be from our master volumes. And then that should be going to the phase inverter. Let's see. Phase inverter, R8. Where's R8? So one side of R8 should be connected right to this. Oh, we're seeing our 1 meg. Well, either way, we've confirmed that's phase inverter in. Okay, we got to pull this module back out for more fitting. Is this going to be long enough? Oh boy. Uh-oh. I don't know if it will be. There's only one way to find out. We need to connect it to the board. All right, so the idea here is, see this 022? That's our C13. We need to put it on this board. Oh boy, this is 5 space. This is going to be a pain in the arse. 223J 400 volts. The footprint of that is not accommodating to our setup here. Now, it's coming off the master volume, which is low signal level, going into a grid of a phase inverter. I don't think it needs to be a 400 volt. I think I can use a standard 200 volt polyester like what I would normally use for an effects pedal. I don't see why not. Doesn't feel right, man. Oh, how beastly we gonna go here? Well, maybe one of these fresh 22400s, identical, and we just kind of float it. Yeah, I think that's the ultimate solution. All right. Tucked out to that relay, sir. Hopefully that gets good signal. That cap looks a bit rusty. So now we have to sort out all these connections because I didn't actually write them down. This is a ground bus. That's power. That's out. That's in. Now the ground bus on this line is only going to be used to kind of, shield the cable. We're not really interested in it load bearing. Now before we proceed any further, let's make sure this is going to fit. That'd be awfully disastrous if it didn't. Oh no, bud. It's just a hair too short. Yeah, no, that's too much tension. All right, I need to find a better dual shielded cable. Oh, if you work on computers, you recognize these guys. And, oh yeah, that's gonna be plenty long enough. Looks pretty much equivalent quality too. Just gotta cut off the connector ends. Unless these will go onto jumpers. I could have just, maybe I should have put a quick connector on there. All right, take two. The only thing we're disrupting is the ground bus. Prepping tiny wires like this is not fun. I don't know how healthy these wires are. They look a bit rough. Let's try connecting the this one. Come on, bud, just slip through there. Okay, that took entirely too long, but we have a nice piece of shielded cable on here and not enough geometry to get this heat shrink over top. Close enough. So this other piece that we had, we might as well use this to connect the potentiometer. So these connections here are, that's out to the potentiometer, that's in from the potentiometer and potentiometer ground. This should be perfect for that. I think because we've made everything so tight in here now, it's hard to get the wires to cooperate. Oh, starting to look more Cthulhu-like by the minute. Now the control line that goes to the switch. Now we gotta kind of interface it with some of the stuff that's happening in the amp here. Specifically, the yellow control line. Ooh, once this is on there, good luck getting it back out. Okay, I think now it's a case of getting it connected to the amp itself. We're running out of space here. Chassis are kind of invasive. Look at this friggin' mess. But it's coming together. It's coming together, bud. Okay, we can screw this thing down now. And it's a good thing we have the type of jacks that we have, because if we needed more room, wouldn't have been able to get this thing into place. Okay, now we kind of have to sort the power line. Power line, got you feeling fine. Oh, that board's got so much flex on it. Oh, talking about power line, the schematic calls for a 33K here, but here, well, they have a chart for what value to use. I was 385 volts. So I actually went with 55K. I didn't have it. I stacked a 3-watt 33K that I ordered with a 3-watt 22K. All right, let's get it in the PowerPoint. This hole needs to open up a bit more. There we go. Solder it. Actually, I'm forgetting one last very important wire on the... I gotta take it back out. I forgot the ground wire. The ground wires I have in those shielded cables are just, to shield the cable. They're not gonna provide signal ground. It's gonna be a tight fit, bud. But it's right here. Oh yeah, come on. There we go. There we go. Just pull that over. That would have been suck. Get it all together, no ground. That could damage it. All right, now we can screw it down. And this ground wire is going to follow pretty much the same path as the purple wire, because it goes right here, and they would even get zapped together if I had zaps and was zapping. And it goes and dagger down. All right. I forgot to make that cross link on here. It's all the last minutes. It's all the last minutes now, buds. I also forgot to connect this wire that goes to the switch. That's the wrong position. Upside down and backwards, bud. Upside down and backwards. Ugh. All right, I do believe all the final connections are made to this guy. Let's see if we can't slot it into place. Now this potentiometer slips right there. Oh yeah, look at that clearance. Look at that clearance, bud. You're zooming a bit. Look at that clearance. All right, everything's secured on there. Now I gotta get all these wiring harnesses into place. This wire's like even way too much longer for this. Like, do we want to have a bunch of slack? Be nice if the relay module was over here. Well, I guess we'll cut it down. There's some sort of flaky stuff in here. Cable lubricant. I've heard of that. They put like a dry lubricant inside the cable so that as it moves, it doesn't chafe and wear it out. Now this shielding is not necessary for this end. It's also bad form to do signal ground through the shield. Touch a heat shrink to clean it up. I gotta get these tiny little wires stripped. I almost wonder if these wires are undersized. Now I have to remember which way is which. White is in, red is out. So white goes to the master volume side and red goes to the phase inverter side. Oh boy. Hole needs a little bit more cleaning. Let's give them a tinning real quick. I kind of wish that cable was bigger. Capacitance means literally capacitance. There's only so much room for electrons to move. You're gonna start losing low end. All right, signal cable in place. Now I need to head back over here and hook up the rest of this guys. Now these greens are unrelated. They can go straight. Just tuck these greens away for now. All right, we gotta just connect these white wires over here. Can we do a little bit of a twisty? Is that a thing that exists? Yeah, looks like it. I'm actually gonna connect the pot wires first. Oh boy, look how long it is. Ugh, I was hoping to not have to prep another one of these little shield cables. White is from the circuit, so that's into the pot. Red, out of the pot. Well, let's get these annoying little wires tinned. I'm not bothering with heat shrink this time. In this case, it's not super bad form to use the shield as the signal ground because there's no signal passing. It's just a ground to kill the signal. Come on, white, get out of the way. All right, that is good. Now, in no particular order, these two white wires go onto the switch. And then finally, these two green wires, which I don't know if I have enough slack to do a twisty. We can try. Oh yeah, we'll have just enough. I gotta connect these green wires to the switch, and I think these are the last two connections. Oh boy, very involved, but I think it's all done now. Well, we haven't got tubes in it. I'm gonna do a quick function check. Problem is, this pulley clicky is louder than the relay itself. This one's definitely flicking the pitons. Now we could plug in this foot switch here and just plug it in ring deep. Uh-oh. I don't hear the relay firing. Oh, we didn't get the polarity backwards, did we? Oh, Panasonic, don't be a dick. That one's plus, that one's negative, correct? Positive, negative. That puts positive on the bottom and negative on the top. No, looks right. All right, diagnosis. Testes for power. Testes for power. This yellow wire right here, 12 volts. What the hell? That's not what's supposed to be happening. There should be no volts there. Or wait, no, that's right. 12 volts when it's on. It's the negative that's switched, so it would be one of these terminals here. Uh-oh. Or wait. It's late. 0, 12. 0, 12. The funny thing is, 12 volts implies that there's load. Okay, we need to take this darn thing out. Take a look underneath, and we gotta be careful because it's energized now, right? We've put power to the system, and that's a high voltage module. That's not a normal low voltage module. It's not an op-amp module. Looks like it's entirely too close over here. Did you ground out? Okay, well, I'm at a loss, so I gotta take a break. Reconvene later. Oh, crisis averted. Upside down and backwards, bud. Upside down and backwards. So the data sheet, this is bottom view. My layout, this is top view, which means I got this polarity backwards. This is plus, this is minus. Those are baked onto my component, so I can't just reverse them. They're correct with the datasheet bottom view. So it works now. You probably won't be able to hear it, but do you hear it? Relay's clicking now. However, oh, yeah, no, that's right. If I lift this contact, yep, so relay's on right now. And if I plug it in, that's off. And if I pull the push-pull, it turns on. Yeah! Now does this thing actually still work? Actually, we got the generic crate foot switch right here. Not the one I plan on using with it, but hey, what are you doing? Oh, power's turned off. I was gonna put tubes in. I'm getting distracted, bud. Oh boy. Okay, tube. Turn it all off. Let us get an effect. My Boss digital delay pitch shifter, about the only effect pedal I have. Modulation effects, that is. Plug in some sound. Let's make sure my volumes aren't cranked. Probably got bumped on there. Roughly dial in some settings. I need a guitar. I need cables. All right, so, well, let's not hook up an effect yet. Let's test to make sure that this machine is still operational. And main channel. Okay, so if we click on the effects, it should go silent because the level's turned all the way down. Oh, I'm turning the level up. I'm getting signal. Oh, max level seems to be unity. level drops when I kick on the effects loop. So does that mean the send at the back? Oh, that's doing something. Okay, well, it's not much of a test if we don't put an effect on it, so... And you see, that pedal didn't work with the Jet City loop. It, like, was dark as frig. For some reason, when I plug in an effect, I get a volume boost. That's super weird. But then, I don't know why it would do that. We do have the adjustment on the front, so that's okay. One of the biggest problems I had with that particular effects pedal is there's a volume drop when you use it. I'm just making all sorts of noise there, buds. Oh yeah, it does sound like the tone changes a little bit with that pedal inserted if I turn it, but that's probably just the pedal. That's probably just the pedal. I don't hear a whole heck of a lot of difference in tone. Oh. It works! In fact, I'm so surprised I got, where was I? I'm so surprised I got that first go. Usually something goes wrong, but nothing but the, just that relay wired backwards. And because it's bad luck to put the knobs on before you've tested it. Now, I can put the knobs on. Let's see, does that look about right? And then, yeah, it looks about right. Tighten her on good, bud. Not much of a solo boost unless we boost that setting at the back. It's kind of, now mind you, it's also proportional to the master volume. So things are gonna go, where am I going with this anecdote? Things would change as the volume turns up and down, which is why I'm glad we have this guy here, which also needs to have a knob on it. But that's why I ordered matching knobs, bud. So they both have knobs. And now they both have knobs, bud. I almost kind of wish I put that on the front. That was part of the plan. Maybe there's still room. I don't know. Kind of get haywire. I was initially gonna put it like this, but you know, we could probably cram it like right here. But no, that's getting too busy here. That's enough of this. That's enough of this. I gotta spray this out tomorrow. Make sure there's no debris. Take it out back to the tool shed. Blow some compressed air through it. And then we're calling it good. But for now, for the purposes of this video, we're calling it good right now. That's great. I got an effects loop in this again, and it's not the kind that sucks. Ho, 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 ho. If you're interested in doing this mod, well, you know, you can take a look at my diagram here and get some inspiration on how to do yours. And, or you could just go and get the zero tolerance one, or the zero loss one. Okay, yeah, they call it zero loss. I'm calling mine the zero tolerance. But this amp is complete once again. No more fooling around. Well, you know, there's other things that can be done to it. Am I done with this thing? I don't know, man, but I'm done for today. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, stay tuned for more. I'm pretty sure I have a couple other amp projects coming. Maybe even some more pedal stuff. Computer stuff I'm not filming right now. But that doesn't matter because I don't post in necessarily the order and time that I film. So, hey, yeah, just... I really need to come up with better endings. These videos are just off the seat of my pants, really. I have an idea of what I want to do, and I just roll camera and frickin' give her, man. So there's no script here, buds. There's no script here, so I got nothing to read here other than just babble.